The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, we are ready. Erica, let me know that you can see the screen.
I can see it. Can you do it in PowerPoint mode?
Is it not?
No.
Why is that happening? Hi, everybody. So you see like next slide thing happening, right?
Yes.
I don't know what the difference is with that. Why? Because I do it the same way every time. Slideshow from beginning. Oh, I know why. It's really weird when I.
Oh.
All right, now it's right.
Okay.
That's what it was.
So welcome everyone to week 4. We are halfway through Bash Camp, and we are so excited that you are here tonight joining us. And our Bash Camp mantra, we always started off as saying, I'm a Bash camper. I am, I can, I will, I do. In last week's assignments, we had 2 quizzes and a bonus. If you did the bonus, which was create an advertisement, a still photo or a video, and you posted on our Bash Camp 5 page where it said post your ad here, you got 10 points. So each assignment's worth 10 points. If you did both quizzes and you did the bonus, then you got an extra 10 points. So nice job on those ads. Just a reminder, make sure you're filling out the week 3 assignment survey, because that lets us know that you completed the ad aspect of it. And so our weekly assignments, as you can see.
Hold on a second. It's not switching, so hold on a second. I'm trying. Here we go. Okay.
Okay. So we are on week 4, assignment number 8, which is worth 10 points. It's the $1,000 party quiz, which we will cover later on. You must earn a total points of 130 to graduate from Bash Camp 5. Each assignment is worth 10 points. We do have 3 bonuses that are also worth 10 points. And Monday, I believe, we had the Jeopardy game.
Yes, that was Monday.
Becky Schneider, Team 3, which won, and all of her team got 10 extra points. So congratulations, Team 3. Halfway through the Bash Camp, we'll be posting your assignment, basically where you are on your graduation status, and you have to complete all assignments by May 9th to graduate. And make sure you are using the track form we created for you so you are aware where you are standing at.
Okay, here we go. It's for some reason it's just not advancing correct. There we go. Okay.
Okay. And we want to congratulate our top partiers for the month of March. We have Jessica Washington in first place with a total party of 15. Out of those 15 parties, she had 14 Blend Bash parties. So congratulations, Jessica. And then we have Nicole at 9 parties with 6 Blend Bashes. Miss Jessica at 8 parties with 5 Blend Bashes. Mindy, 6 and 5 Blend Bashes, and so on. So congratulations to those top 25 partiers.
Pretty awesome. Nice to see those numbers there. Yeah, it's fabulous. We had a good March. It was really awesome that we hit the goal for the 1,000 plus. So that was great. All you guys contribute to.
And we also had Blend Bash Madness, which I completely forgot about that. So congratulations to y'all too.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay.
So far, what you've learned through the weeks is that you've learned how to establish goals and build trust. You learn to build relationships with your contacts. You've learned how to compel a reason to book a Blend Bash. And this week, we are going to learn the keys to a $1,000 party. So we are really close to the final stages of the selling process and focusing on delivering your promise tonight. So tonight's topic is sharing keys to a $1,000 party, which is ultimately all of your goals, which we hope it is. That's why you are in Bash Camp. Not because a $1,000 party, not only does it give you a nice commission check when you settle that party size, but it's guaranteed that you get at least 30% commission as opposed to 25%.
That is pretty awesome. I love that. Okay, so do you want me to start from here, or are you going on? Sorry.
You can. Oh, you can if you want to.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. So why does $1,000 party really matter? Our business focuses on others because when others get what they want, we get what we want. So while you're driving to your hostess home, always keep in mind that she is opening her home to you, or he, that they're sharing you, your business, and your products with their networks of friends. So for that, always be grateful. It's going to allow you to build your successful business, you get to meet new people, and you'll get to build your customer base. So treat them well, because as you can see, when you create that $1,000 party, the host benefits, not only do the hosts benefit from the host rewards, but you will also benefit from the party.
Very good.
And I think this is you.
Okay, then I'm going to step in here and thank you, Erica. Great job. This is Connie Ashburn, of course, and we didn't show our faces when we started, so maybe we'll show them at the end. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's see where we are. The revised host program is in, on the slide here, you can see. So there are now incremental levels to really encourage your host to work towards the next higher sales level. So I like the dollar value for that reason, because if somebody's in range, they can just make the adjustment to say, okay, if you go to this place, you can just maybe another 50 in sales or whatever it might be, get you up to that next level. So free products reflected in dollars rather than item count. And then, of course, they can put that towards anything. It kind of acts like a product credit, and it can be used on non-fragrance items. And then the 50% off items, of course, can be used on any products in the catalog. And we have added that free accent shade when hosting a Blend Bash specifically. And then there's 2 new levels on this host reward program from what we had before. So there's now the 1200 and the 1400 level, which again, it's just an opportunity when you get someone, that's getting up in scales up there, that they have a little extra incentive to get up to those higher parties. So really cool. And then the host VIP cost was reduced at the $600 party level. So it was 30 before, and now it's 15. So just use that sliding scale to your advantage, just to encourage hosts, of course, to step up at least 1 level. Sometimes you might be able to get them to go 2. Okay, so let's see, thinking about the key to a successful Blend Bash is really planning ahead. Blend Bash for sure needs some planning time. So just get in the habit of reviewing your calendar weekly to see what's coming up and how far in advance that your parties are booked. And booking a Blend Bash 2 to 3 weeks in advance, and in Canada, even 3 to 4 is really ideal. 3 weeks is probably enough in Canada. But knowing that you have a minimum of 14 days to enter your party in the system and 21 days in Canada, it's really best to plan your calendar further out than you did with traditional parties. So if you just get used to looking forward in your planner and in your calendar, it's going to make a big difference. So with all the benefits of a Blend Bash, that extra planning time is really worth it. And there's no more waiting until month end to look at your next month's bookings. I would highly encourage you not to do that. This is all really a good thing, because just know that planners will achieve their goals more regularly than non-planners. And I didn't mean the actual book itself, I meant you guys. So if you are planning ahead and looking at your calendar ahead and not just trying to flip it and look at it 1 month at a time or 1 week at a time, it's going to make a difference. So it all begins with the bookings, and either tonight, if you have energy after this call, I know I won't, or first thing in the morning, just review your Blend Bash schedule. So really think about, are you scheduled the way that you want to be for May and June? Now, we're a little bit too late in April now to do much, but May and June to really be looking at your Blend Bash schedule or your general party schedule as well. And just begin reviewing your schedule to see when you want to party, and then begin making those calls to get your calendar right where you want it and need it to be to meet the goals that you set out for yourself. So we've shared booking scripts before. So if you want anything specific, I would just suggest that if you're making some booking calls now, you might start off the call with, hi, Sherry, or hi, Erica, since she's on the call with me. It's Connie Ashburn with Pink Zebra. Do you remember me? Erica, you can answer that.
Yes, I do.
Good. If you remember, I met you at Julie's party last fall. How have your products worked out?
Oh, they're working out great. Thank you.
Good. So I was just curious if your scents need to be replenished and if you're ready for some new spring scents. What do you think?
Actually, yeah, I think I am.
All right, and we'd encourage you to because our new catalog launched in February and you're going to love some of the new fragrances for spring. And we even have, of course, as usual, when a new catalog comes out, we've got some really great warmers and accent shades. So if you were really thinking about maybe booking a party to get some of that for free, would early May work for you? Like what day of the week would be best for you?
I think, how about maybe towards the end of the week? That would be
So
better
what
for me.
day, like day of the week itself, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? So maybe Thursday since you said at the end of the week?
Thursday, I think Thursday would be better for me.
Okay, so then what I would do, of course, is look at the Thursdays available and then obviously get a date set with her. But sometimes just if you were to book, just asking that question, it gets you to that next level trying to find out because you're not asking for a date at this point, just what day of the week would work best for you. So if you notice, I'm not saying anything about the Blend Bash yet. So I really want to get a date first, and then I can offer the traditional party or the new Blend Bash if they have not seen that before. And I certainly would share with my host why I think the Blend Bash is a better option. And she may have been to a Blend Bash before. Now that we're, almost a year into the Blend Bashes, you may obviously be contacting people that have been to them. So it makes it a little bit easier for them to understand what goes on at a Blend Bash itself. Okay, so tonight we're going to be sharing some keys to really achieving that $1,000 party. I see, and I'm sure Erica, you see it as well because you look at the party numbers and stuff more than I do. But successes with $1,000+ parties with Blend Bashes is happening consistently. So, yeah, don't you think? I mean, you hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let it be you if you've not experienced that yet. And this slide really just shares several keys that might help. So first, making contact with your customers is key. Parties, of course, are key to you meeting your financial and your business goals and certainly earning trips. You've had numerous people that earned that trip to Ireland. It's happening next month. Earning pink dollars, of course, and income. So it's all a good thing. So determine what you're working towards and then make those connections to book the parties that are necessary to meet that, what your goal is. So hopefully you've had some luck with those customers that you surveyed a couple weeks back as part of Bash Camp. The more Blend Bashes that you hold, I will tell you the more you're going to book. So guests won't really know any other kind of party once you really start doing them all the time. And another year from now, I would bet we're probably going to be doing mostly Blend Bashes. So other than, of course, the other ancillary sales that you guys do with Facebook parties and certainly events and the one-on-ones and the parties on the go, and all those things are still an important part of your business. Secondly, pre-orders are key to reaching that $1,000 party order and connecting with your host to see who might need to send some samples to, that can't attend certainly are going to help you build some party sales before you even arrive. The third thing is just preparing your host with what to say to the guests as they personally invite their friends. And the success and ease of the Blend Bash is really now getting your host to focus on filling those 10 spots at the party when people are obviously buying that pre-buying the Bash box. And then, of course, expanding that list to some that can't attend for pre and post party orders. And obviously, personal contacts are really key in this entire process because you're not going to just send an invitation to somebody and expect them to make a purchase of a Bash box without some explanation. And the resources that we have available to you between the host planning guide, probably the biggest key to that is really going to help the process and help your host and certainly her guests understand what the Bash box is all about. So 4 is host coaching, and as most of you know, is really key for a successful party. So fortunately, good host coaching is a skill that you can develop. And honestly, as I've talked to people doing these Pink Sapphire tours, there's a lot of you that don't spend time host coaching. So I just want to encourage you to really give that some time because the priority that you put on it is going to make a huge difference. And the more you do it, the better at it you're going to get. And the party, of course, the key in taking it seriously and giving it the time it deserves, I can tell you host coaching is worth every moment that you spend on it. So I used to be one of those that felt uncomfortable about questioning my host, asking her how many guests she had coming or really diving into that wish list. But I really learned that if I didn't partner with her and really plan the party together and ask those questions, my results just weren't as good. So I even learned with other direct sellers. I mean, they do it for a living and they'd host a party, with me. And then I would be amazed at some of the stuff that they didn't do. So I just learned not to leave anything to chance. So even if they seem to know what to do, they seldom did it. So I just treated every host the same. I went through the same process. I coached the same, no matter, if they had held numerous parties before having one with me, I would make sure I covered everything that I would normally cover in a typical host coaching call. So view your host, of course, as your business partner. The party is your business building arena, and you want the best possible experience for your host, as obviously as well as for you. So there are things that work, like personally inviting, and things that don't work, like not inviting all the guests via Facebook. But then there are things that your host can do that you can't, and that's like connecting with the guests and obviously sharing her enthusiasm about the party and about the products and about obviously seeing them. So while in front of guests, of course, you want to share some recipe ideas and some other fabulous products so that they can see the beauty of simmering lights and all the accent shades and the warming shades, and really be excited about decorating their home with the choices that we offer. So in the past, inviting 50 to a party was pretty much what I did all the time, and that was just to get 10 to 12 there. And then you'd still end up, when you arrived at the home to set everything up, having that phone ring and a few more canceling right before the party. So now you really are focusing on that host getting those 10 guests, and most who, of course, you are working with to get them to pre-buy that bash box. Because we know once they make that purchase of the bash box, the chances of them actually showing up and not canceling is incredibly high. So then using that 10 plus 3 plus 3 formula, you're really encouraging the host to get those additional pre and post-party orders that we talked about, just to have a higher chance at reaching that $1,000 party goal. So really, again, the host planning guide talks about that 10 plus 3 plus 3 as well. So give host coaching the time, as we mentioned, and attention that it deserves, and your chances of a much more successful party is so much greater when that activity gets priority. So plus you're going to get to know your host better during the process, which does nothing but increase your results for success even further. The more comfortable that your host is with you as a consultant coming into their home that Erica talked about earlier, the better off it's going to be and the better job she's going to do in terms of encouraging her friends to come. So I've seen some of the great ads. We both have looked at them that you did for the assignment. I was going through them the other night, and they were so good. So this could be a really great time to create some interest socially in booking spring and summer blend bashes, or really encouraging those guests that have been invited to attend. So share your ads with your host to create some interest in their social circles as well. And now that you've done them, you may want to do a few more. You never know. So that might be specific to the need that you have. So this was a few more ads to share that I thought were pretty fun. So just some ideas. And of course, if you guys have not scanned that ad post that we have out there, you're going to see a ton of ads out there. So thank you guys for posting those, because they're fun to look at. All right, so as outlined in the host checklist, reiterate how outside orders can really help to increase the sales and certainly spread the joy of Pink Zebra to more people. Share with them again what the $1,000 party reward looks like. And then, of course, offer to send samples to those faraway guests that cannot attend. Again, this is a great time for you to post an ad like this one that really explains who Pink Zebra is to those that chose not to come. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that, no question about it. So get creative with that. Create some interest in them placing an order, of course, and then offer to send samples to smell the new fragrances. I know many consultants go live on their host Facebook page just to share some more about the products, or specifically showing that bash box just to create interest, and certainly the benefits of pre-purchasing it. So things that you can do to just kind of engage those guests before they ever actually attend the party. And you can see statistically that 30% of $1,000 parties have pre-selling involved, and post-selling. Really, it's both. So it's kind of amazing when you think about that, because that's $300 in sales when you're doing pre and post-selling. So it can make a huge difference to your party staff. Okay, so use the resources available to you that we've talked about so many times, such as the host planning guide, which is 4 pages, covers all the important aspects of planning for that blend bash. The host planning guide should be included in your host packet, of course. You can certainly email that to a host, of course, if you schedule a party over the phone. And it's going to help really explain more about the blend bash and really provide a place for you and your host to prepare the guest list, help her work on that, the wish list, and obviously several other things. So the planning guide really first covers the figuring out of the theme for the party from the Blend Bash choices that we have. The theme is going to make inviting guests even more fun. People love themes. So just think about some ideas around what your host could serve, and keep it simple, of course, for each of the different themes that are part of our catalog this spring. People really do get excited about food and drinks, and sometimes they don't even eat them and drink them, quite honestly, but it gets them to the party. So just thinking up something unique to tie in with the themes to serve can be fun for you and, of course, for your host, especially if you've got a creative host or one that really likes to, have parties, that kind of thing. So once that decision is made, you send one of the cute graphics for the theme that was selected. You can send it via text. You can email it. You can post it on the Facebook page. Obviously, then she can share that with her friends along with the invite link itself. So be sure to discuss the wish or the guest list. And I've not put all the pages of this on here, but this is all part of the host planning guide. This is really an important step, and one that I used to breeze over when I was a consultant. When I was a fairly new consultant, I should say. I really felt uncomfortable asking how many people she invited, but I also suffered that low attendance, as I mentioned earlier, when I didn't take working with that host on the guest list seriously. So refer to your host to the guest list page, which is on page 3 of the guide, and really ask your host to write down as many names as she can think of while you're on the phone when you first start this process. So wait a minute or two, let her kind of write out some names, and then ask how many names they came up with, and then suggest to try to expand that list over the next week before you talk again, because normally you have about 3 calls, and ask your host to share from the people that she wrote down right then the top 5 people that they absolutely want to attend this party and why they are the top choices. And this can take you just a couple minutes to do, but they might share it was their best friend, they went to college together, they're really fun, they love the party, whatever the case might be. But all this really helps you to get to know your host better and what their friend circle is like. And then you can recommend that your host call those 5 right away, like within the next 24 hours, invite them to be the first ones to pre-purchase that bash box so that they can be assured of a spot to blend at the party. And if you're someone that's going to offer the DIY candle to the first 6 that pre-purchase, then you can tell her to do that. But they're probably friends that your host is most comfortable with when you ask her to pick her top 5. And then she probably, I would guess, is going to have success selling them on the great buy that the bash box is. So when you get that positive response that's coming from that group of 5, that first 5 or 6 people, really getting those other 4 or 5 is just, it honestly seems very easy to them at that point. So then it's, of course, time to start shopping in the catalog and creating the wish list. They obviously should record in that host planning guide so that they're really ready to discuss what they want to earn for free or half off on your next call. So plant that seed for the wish list to start forming so that you can discuss that on the next call. So the table of 10 that's shown here from page 4 of the host planning guide is really a great visual to help your host stay focused on getting the 10. And it is, of course, the magic number that makes a party a great and a fun experience, and certainly ideal for getting sales and booking results that are really important to you and certainly to your host as well. So from there, this resource, of course, is another one that's for you specifically. So it is your Blend Bash host checklist. So it's what you keep and what tracks the things that you're doing. So much of what we talked about already is in the checklist format for you, just to keep track of what you've covered with your host during your host coaching calls. You know, I found when I was doing 4 or 5 parties a month, it was hard for me to remember what I said to one host and what I said to another. So the form really helped me to stay on track with what I had already talked about. And I certainly would make some notes out to the side if I needed to. So, but as soon as I booked a party, I would use the host checklist to put all the important party information on there, of course, and then set up the coaching calls. So when you have multiple parties going on, as I mentioned, this form is going to be a lifesaver to ensure that you're covering the bases for a successful party and you're staying in touch with your host regularly and you're not forgetting anything. So the first connection call covers all the basics with the beginning of the party. It's the planning steps, of course. Follow it, and my guess is that you're going to feel more on top of this process and eliminate feeling like things are falling through the cracks completely. And especially if you've got, you're working a job, you've got kids, I mean, all the other things that go on in our life, you need some organization to kind of keep yourself straight. So do not leave things to memory. So hosts do want to hear from you, I can assure you. I've mentioned this before, but the DSA did a survey of people that had hosted parties with direct selling companies. One of their highest complaints was that the consultants did not connect with them enough. So amazingly enough, if you're feeling like you're bugging a host, you are wrong. She wants to make this party successful. Obviously, she wouldn't have booked it with the expectation that it was going to be a complete flop. She wouldn't have agreed to host it if she expected that to happen. So in the second communication, which is listed here, it's all about the wish list and getting your host excited about the free products to be earned. So be sure that your host is picking out some specific accessory items and certainly some fragrance choices from the catalog, because you really want them connected to those products. And ask as they share their selections which room that they can see them being used in. Maybe you can even get her to describe a little bit about her home and what areas that she really feels that she needs either some decor or some fragrancing, of course. You're really trying to create a visual around the placement in her home so that they can really imagine them in specific spots. I mean, you're trying to really connect the host to the excitement of actually having those products at home. So really get them thinking about how they feel when they smell certain fragrances that they absolutely love, and how their home is going to really reflect that in some awesome decor to spruce everything up. So check in about pre-orders, of course. If they're running into resistance, just say something simple like, tell me about that. So if she's saying, I'm just struggling with my friends making that pre-purchase, tell me about that. You want to hear what she's saying, how she's communicating it, and then maybe you can slightly tweak and get her to reconnect with them and give them a little bit more insight or information, or send a video or whatever it is that you're doing to really bring that bash box to home. So certainly the explanation may just give you a means of suggesting some other word choices that might help. And the key is really guests understanding that to reserve their spot and ensure that they're going to be blending at the party. This is a DIY party and they need that supplies kit to be able to participate. I think you're going to find that those words themselves will bring people, or I think people will expect that they can buy it and they can come and blend. The DIY idea and the supplies kit idea is really what's working for some people at this point. So, of course, pre-ordering that bash box is key to them being able to take those sprinkles home that night. So your last connection call is about just confirming guest count, other last minute details like when you're going to arrive. And then certainly it's just another means of building that relationship and checking in again to see how the pre-orders are going. So we know that guests attend a party with a certain dollar amount in mind that they're going to spend. So when they spend $26 a few weeks before the party for the bash box itself, those dollars usually are spent and forgotten. The likelihood of guests really spending more that night or at the party is absolutely high. So it's time for selling, of course, more sprinkles, be sharing some recipe ideas, certainly other home decor that they might buy, the warming shades, different warming products that we've got. So it only increases your average customer order when customers, of course, make a decision to purchase some additional products that night over and above the bash box itself. So be sure that you are sharing recipe ideas. We've heard that that's really been helpful. Sometimes people are creating like small tent cards with some ideas of favorite recipes that they have, and they just kind of post them around the Blend Bash. Certainly there's the cards that are contained in the Blend Bash itself. And then having warming and accent shades on display and showing the versatility is going to increase that sale as well. So we've got some really awesome products this spring that you can certainly be sharing all the different ideas. Okay, so after party sales, of course, as we've mentioned a few times, can provide a real boost from one sales level to the next. And if you set up a Facebook event or you can communicate with guests that couldn't attend, certainly share the fun of the party experience and what the top products sold were, what the favorite blended fragrances was, or a statement from your host telling friends that didn't attend what she loved most. So I would recommend not holding the party open for more than 3 to 5 days, but post several times because we know people won't react or order on the first and only post. So really get your host involved in reaching that next level as a goal, or of course, all the way to the $1,000 mark if she wants those 5, all that free product and half off items and the free host VIP. This is really a great time to show a host how they can do a lot of they might even have like wedding showers coming up, baby showers, different birthdays. Of course, Mother's Day is right around the corner. Father's Day is close. We have 4th of July to decorate for. There's just so many other things coming up. And so it's a great time to show your host how they can do so much more than maybe what they might want even for their own home. So use your ads again or additional ones that you might create to share more about Pink Zebra with guests that can't attend. And be sure to be posting pictures of guests holding that Blend Bash sign. Now that we've got these cooler signs with the themes on them, to show everyone the fun that didn't attend with a link to the party so they can obviously place their order. So even though I don't have this on the slide, your goal, honestly, at every single party beyond it hitting that $1,000 mark, if that's possible, is to book at least 2 parties at every Blend Bash that you do, and hopefully find 1 business lead. So certainly somebody that you can meet with and share the business with, tell them more about it, maybe have them take some information home that night. So it is certainly your lifeline to a successful career with Pink Zebra. And when you've got 10 guests at a party, which of course is the goal for the Blend Bash, your opportunities for both of those things is so much greater. Getting people to be in front of makes a huge difference with all the results from obviously sales and rewards and booking opportunities and business leads. So consider laying out your plan for products in the Blend Bash. Oh, sorry, I missed one thing. If you're making those follow-up calls to those that didn't attend, so whether your host is or whether you are, sometimes, you as a consultant may do that. Consider sharing what your customers love most and use some suggestive selling to showcase how warming and accent shades really work in conjunction with each other. So posting things from the party, as we've mentioned several times, can really create some interest in those that did not attend. So some of these things, like the host might share, my last customer loved this. At my Blend Bash, one of the favorites was that. Certain shade was just everybody fell in love with. So, just kind of personalizing the message may help a little bit. So now this is really just considering laying out your plan for products in the Blend Bash around the home that you obviously want to encourage mingling. You want to make the Blend Bash the center point of focus. And in most cases, of course, you do not get a floor plan for the host or for the party that you're going to be going to. So I would just recommend that you get there. We don't need any hour beforehand anymore, but maybe 30 minutes, 25 minutes, just so you can have some time with the host, but to really just kind of walk around the home a little bit and think about what would be the best placement for the Blend Bash, giving the space for 10 guests to get around a table or wherever you're going to set it up. And then where you might be able to set some of the accent shades and the warming products. And then maybe you'll have a spot for some, like your opportunity brochures, or maybe the bingo games if they want to pick up one of those slips if you do any kind of game at your parties. And making sure that you're placing some product in the kitchen as well when people are going to come out there and get some food and drinks, and most definitely in the bathroom, the guest bathroom, because people are going to walk in there and instantly be able to see this great product and obviously smell that amazing, amazing aroma. So just make sure that you're really spreading some things out throughout the house so it gives people an opportunity to see how the different products can be used throughout the home. So upselling your guest, of course, just means more host rewards and more commissions, so more money in your pocket. So just talking about really creating some product combinations that you think work well, and really suggest bundling products together to complete a look. And it doesn't mean you have to give a discount on these products. It's just giving some suggestions about things that they can combine together. There are numerous images in the back office to really help you come up with some things that you might want to do. And whether you create some, little 8.5 by 11 sheets that you print on cardstock or something and put in some of those plastic frames with some of these ideas, certainly something that you can do just to do some suggestive selling. Okay, so just check out this comparison of what your sales could generate with pre-selling versus not pre-selling. So with pre-selling, of course, they're buying the Bash Box in advance. If they make that purchase of the Simmer Pot, which a large percentage of our people are, and we know the Simmer Pot's only $20 when you buy it together, and we're going to make it an assumption that they've also made the additional purchase of a jar of sprinkles to get that sale up to around $54. In Canada, $67.50. So at the party, then they buy a couple more jars of sprinkles, they buy a warming shade, they may buy a soap, whatever that combination of products is. So I'm just going to talk in US dollars at this moment. Now you've got an additional $76 purchase, and that totals you up at $130 average for that customer. If you don't pre-sell, the opportunity for you is basically, if you look at our average orders, 3 sprinkles, a simmering light, and a warming shade, and your total there is 100. So 128, of course, in Canada, and 162.50 on the first one. So when you look at the difference there, it's about a 30% jump with that pre-selling happening. Again, it's because I think the separation of that purchase is what makes the difference. So definitely worthwhile going through the process and a little bit of the angst that you guys experience with pre-selling bash boxes. Okay, so yes, ma'am. Yes.
Also, on the previous one, if the good thing about pre-selling those bash boxes is that those customers get free products. They get samples, and I guess they get a free go card.
Mm-hmm.
As if you don't sell those pre-boxes, those pre-boxes. So it's always it benefits you, but it also benefits the customer.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it really is a much better value. I mean, there's just no question. So, all right, you want to talk about the assignments then, Miss Erica?
Okay, so next week, this assignment, like I said, we're going to do the $1,000 party quiz.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth 10 points. And for a bonus assignment, which is also worth 10 points, if you settle at this $1,000 blend bash party or more, then you get the bonus 10 points. However, there are rules. You cannot be the host. You have to have at least 6 customers or more. Those 6 customers, you can be a customer, but you cannot be all 6 customers. So you have to have yourself along with other customers. And the party must be settled by April 25th, which I believe is the last day of Bash Camp.
It is.
It is? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to complete the assignment survey to receive the points as well.
Yeah. And just, in case you're wondering, if you've done a $1,000 blend bash already through the bash camp period, it will count. So if you've got one scheduled, maybe it's happening this week, maybe you already held it on Tuesday night, it gets settled before the 25th of April, it will count. So, okay. So we're not expecting you, because that's only 2 weeks away. So I wouldn't expect you to book a new one unless you want to host one yourself, which absolutely you could do. And you can do that in that 2-week period without a problem. So, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, what I would like to see is that if you do settle that $1,000 blend bash party, please post it on Facebook, just to motivate your other peers, and it lets us know that you are committed to hosting a $1,000 blend bash party.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and then we are going to post that point update in files tomorrow morning. So just be looking for that if you want to double check and make sure that your points are where you think they are based on your tracking sheet that you have been hopefully using. Okay. So with that, you want to say anything there, Miss Erica?
Yes, I want to thank each and one of y'all for participating tonight and being here with us. And we'll be closing by saying, I am a bash camper. I am, I can, I will, I do, I did. So next week for week 5 at 8 o'clock Central Time.
April 18th. So we have 2 weeks left. Hard to believe. So we said we'd turn our video on for a second. I hope I look okay because I didn't even check.
How do you do it?
It says unable to share webcam. Oh, there it is. I don't know why it said that. So it's like 9:45 or whatever time it is here tonight. Did you get yours on or not?
I can't.
You can't. That's okay. Oh, there you are. There you are. So we say good night to everyone. Have a great week and great weekend. Look forward to, of course, seeing you and talking to you next week. All right. Take care. Bye everyone. I got to end this now, Erica. Bye, guys.